All right, welcome back. Gabe Henderson here for another edition of The Walk alongside voice of the Vikings, Paul Allen and PA. There is a guy, I would like to say he's my favorite player, Mr. Harrison Smith. I'm a big wine drinker, and the older I get, the more I learn about wines. And I would say Harrison Smith is like a Pinot Noir. Gets better with age. You used to call him the hitman. Yeah. Pinot Noirs, if you drink them too soon, they hit you. But if you let them age over time, it's a graceful drink. And I feel like that's Harrison Smith's career thus far.
Well, if you're not paying attention, Harry's going to leave you punch drunk because he's intoxicatingly good.
Harrison Smith has had a very, very good season. Folks, that's an absolutely clean hit by Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith lit him up like a Christmas tree.
Paul, you talk about the best all-around safety in the NFL, it's got to be Harrison Smith. His ability to cover downfield, intercept.
I think 2020 was the best season he ever had because of all the sacrifice he had to make for everything happening around him because of the youth and no preseason, different training camp, virtual offseason. So what he did last year to keep things as together as he did, wow, man. Harry the Hitman, Harry the Pickman, that's my man.
So we're going to walk to this spot, and this spot is very significant to this season because you talk about Harrison Smith, 5 interceptions, but I think there wasn't one that came at a more perfect time than this year at this point against the Jacksonville Jaguars and Mike Glennon. But I can't tell you, I just need to show you. So if you want to look at this video board,
boom.
This play right here, Mike Glennon.
Glennon firing to Gabe Henderson, intercepted by the Hitman. Right here where we are right now, G.
Glennon back to pass, fires over the middle, intercepted by the Pickman. Harry the Hitman, I mean the Pickman, has turned over the...
I would say it's probably his best year since 2017. That 2017 year, 92 tackles, 5 interceptions, I think 9 PBUs. Like, what do you remember most about that year?
Now, if you go back to 2017, it was so complimentary with everybody. Harrison was able to do things by the line. His tackle for losses were a lot larger than they were this year. And he did so many things in complimentary fashion because he's a Hall of Fame type safety. Now, in 2020, you know, I would imagine Zimmer wanted to unleash Harrison the way he has all of his career, but you got to be careful because discretion is the better part of valor, and you got all these kids in the secondary, and quite honestly, after injuries all over the place, that you had to do different things with Harrison. And when you watch some of these games back, Gabe, like you and I do, you will see Harrison frantically sprinting somewhere, and you're like, somebody's like, oh, Harry blew the coverage. No, he didn't. He's running there as fast as he can because somebody else blew the coverage because they're all being raised on the fly because of no preseason.
For sure.
Harrison Smith is a scholar of the game. He's one of the great defensive players in the history of the Minnesota Vikings. That interception in this spot against Mike Glennon, Harry the Pickman.
Let's go back to the other 47 because he has another game-sealing interception against the Green Bay Packers. A lot of Vikings fans know that game from, I guess, Anthony Barr and Aaron Rodgers, but at the same time, that play, the interception in the fourth quarter against Brett Hundley, if you want to watch this play, you can't really draw it off any better than this. Pete Merced screamed.
2 from the 45, the action. Danielle Hunter's on him, but he gets it off. And it's intercepted! A one-handed interception by Harrison Smith. Turns it up 45-40. Oh, Hitman with his 3rd pick of the season.
Harrison Smith with the one-handed grab. You know, Harrison, like a lot of great players, man, they're up for every single game. When it's A-Raj, when it's Brady, Mahomes, when it's whomever, they have an extra gear they can find that normal man cannot find. And Harrison Smith being one of the greatest defensive players in the history of Vikings football, and honestly, a quasi-Hall of Fame type safety. To make that one-handed grab like that, it's not off A-Raj, but it's the border battle. And you got to win that game, man. And you know, Harrison does stuff like that, but Harrison is a team-first guy, and the concept of the team matters most to him.
Like I said before, he's aging very well. 2021 with a more polished secondary. What does that look like for him?
Well, with Harrison, you know, it's the secondary with Gladney and Dantzler and even Harrison Hand, who looks super scrappy. Mike Hughes coming back, stuff like that. You got the draft and free agency. You know, it's Harrison will do whatever it takes for the team collectively to have the best chance it can to stop somebody. Now, the pass rush, you know, when you're without Danielle Hunter, Michael Pierce, this nose tackle from Baltimore, opted out due to COVID. You know, I think Michael has a little wiggle to him from the nose that's going to give them some sacks that some people don't see coming. So when that pass rush improves, that's when players like Kendricks and Harrison Smith, that's when they get to the end zone. Now, with Gladney and Dantzler, I thought they were stupendous last year, given what they were facing. But with Harrison Smith, we can look back to 2017. We can say what's going to happen with the pass rush, what's going to happen when these kid corners are grown up. None of it matters when you're as good as Harrison Smith because he makes it work to get 5 interceptions or force somebody to throw it earlier than they want because of a non-obvious blitz from the edge. He's one of those rare players you come across where no matter what's around him, he's still going to be elite.
I can only imagine what 2021 will look like for him. But guys, thank you again for joining us for another edition of The Walk. PA, Gabe Henderson. See you next week.